So today we're doing a Rays rebuild. Obviously, they've been a little bit active this offseason, trading away Blake Snell for Francisco Mejia, Luis Patino, and I think there was 2 other prospects involved. So I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? The Rays traded away a Cy Young winning pitcher on a very team-friendly contract. I'm pretty sure his contract was like $10 million a year. On top of that, they've always been a team that just seems really well organized, very meticulous about every single deal that they make. And on top of that, they're somewhat of a modern day Moneyball team. So I thought, you know what? Let's do a modern day Moneyball rebuild with the Tampa Bay Rays. So how we're going to do this is we're not going to worry about trying to worry about inflation with the Athletics salary compared to the Rays salary. All I'm going to do is I'm not allowed to make a contract offer that's above Kevin Kiermaier's. That's the only stipulation, because it seems like he's like that one player that they just will hold on to, and his contract's okay. It sets around 11 to 13 million for the next couple seasons. So that's really the only stipulation. Can't go above Kevin Kiermaier for the next 3 years. So I hope you guys enjoyed the rebuild. If you do, hit that thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoyed the content. And of course, get in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the Snell trade, the Darvish trade, whatever. Just talk about baseball down below. So here we go. We're going to hop into it. And yeah, I mean, what do the Rays do going forward? So Kevin Kiermaier, I think, makes 11 this year, not 10.3. And I think he makes 12 and then 13. I think that's how his contract's laid out for the next couple seasons, something around those lines. But I'm not allowed. I'm gonna keep it. Let's try to keep it under 11 for a contract offer every year. So I can't go above 11 for a player. So you guys can see what we're kind of working with in terms of contracts. For the most part, we should be okay. It's just if we want to go out and sign somebody, that's going to be pretty difficult to work with. So I'm most likely going to send down who? Oh, Jose Alvarado got traded to the Phillies for Garrett Cleavinger. I believe that's who it was. So let me double check that trade, and let me make that trade first, and then we're just going to hop into it. I mean, that's really what it is. You guys know the Rays lineup. I'll show you it. And we'll just go into the offseason, work from there. And yeah, that's really about it. All right, so the trade was actually Cleavinger to the Dodgers, Alvarado to the Phillies, and then the Dodgers sent over some player that's not on a roster. So realistically, it doesn't sound like the player would really make the Rays roster right now. So what I'm going to do is I just sent over Alvarado to the Phillies for their lowest rated player in their team, and there we go. So this is the team. You guys see it, pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna do the draft. We're gonna head into the offseason. No more rebuild. Okay, so let's talk about this offseason. I'm gonna add Michael Gigliotti as well as Jalen Beeks so we don't lose them in the Rule 5 draft. I'm gonna offer everybody arbitration here. Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna make sure we bring everybody back. Same thing with the contracts. If I don't bring anybody back, I'll let you know. That's really what I'm yeah, that's basically what it is. Edgar Lorenz was a player in this year's, this rebuilds draft that I didn't get. He went a couple picks before my first pick, and he's in free agency. I'm going to offer him a contract. Hopefully we can sign him. The players that we did draft, I don't think Logan Driscoll was a player that I drafted. Same thing with John Doxakis. I think those are just, maybe it's bugged or I don't know. They're signed for some reason, but those aren't players that I drafted. I drafted Franklin Barker, Bruce Winston, Rich Santos, Corey Roush, and then Babe Beach, purely based on his name. And he actually has 86 potential. So yeah, he's 58 overall, but I have a feeling he's going to be pretty good. So that's the team. Realistically, I don't really see us getting anybody in free agency. Maybe a bullpen arm or something. But when I look through this, there aren't too many players that seem like they'll be kind of cheap, that kind of fit the whole Moneyball mindset. So if I could find somebody, I'll bring them in, but realistically, I don't really see it happening. Maybe someone, I don't really know. So we'll see. I'll see you guys next season. All right, season 1, not a lot of changes at all. Dewell Lugo was brought in on a minor league contract. I thought maybe he could turn out to be, either a good platoon guy or we could use him as a trade piece. He was sitting in free agency. I thought not a bad pickup. Seth Beer, Rule 5 draft. And then, did I sign anybody else? I don't think I did. Yeah, I don't think I did. Besides this Edgar Lorenz guy. That was really it. I pointed out that guy and that was it. this is the team. I didn't want to change too much. I want to see who's going to do well, who's going to do poorly, who do I want to keep. Kind of go with that mentality rather than just go out and try to get players that I think would immediately make the team better. Plus, I have to be kind of smart with the budget. You know, you look at the team right here. Seth Beard, backup catcher or backup first baseman. Ji-Man Choi sadly doesn't really make the lineup. I just think there's a couple better players in front of him. Francisco Mejia, I actually want to be the everyday catcher. I just want him to start developing now, and I feel like just putting him in the lineup's the best way to do it. When we take a look at the budget, I almost said the bullpen. The budget, we don't really have to worry about anybody. Zunino, probably not a player I'm looking to keep. Same thing with Michael Wacha. He might even be a player I look to trade right now, because we do have a couple other players that are sitting in AAA who are, you know, similar rated pitchers and a lot cheaper. But since Michael Wacha was a player that they signed for 2021, I'll give him a shot. We do have Trevor Richards. We do have a lot of young pitchers who, you know, who knows what we're gonna do with them. Bullpen, Peter Fairbanks is someone that I want to try to get into the team. I just don't know how. Maybe next year. We'll see. I definitely want to kind of find more cheap pickups, but we'll have to wait till next year. So let's get into the regular season. Let's see where we're ranked. We're probably ranked somewhere in the mid-teens. Yeah, 14th. But this team will definitely perform a lot better than it shows. I think this is a team that's one of those teams that just does a lot better than their rating is. So yeah, let's get into it. You know, like I said, the budget's in a good spot. I'm not going to go over the $12 million that Kevin Kiermaier is making. I'm going to try to avoid to keep it under $10 million. And really the only player we have to worry about losing, maybe Margot. But most of these players are on arbitration, so it should stay pretty cheap. So I think we're in a good spot. You know, maybe the only player that we have to worry about getting too high is Tyler Glasnow. Maybe Austin Meadows and Willy Adames. We'll see. I'll see you guys after the season. So I'm at the deadline, and we're not doing too great. Offensively, we're struggling a lot. Even the pitching staff is struggling a lot. So I'm going to go out, and I'm going to pick up J.D. Davis of the Mets. Contract super friendly. Arbitration for the next few years. Having a great season. Yandy Diaz and Manuel Margot are kind of the two players that I was looking of letting walk or trying to move anyways, especially since Margot becomes a free agent, not next year, but the final year of the rebuild. And he's having a terrible season, and he's had plenty of games to play. So I'm going to move these two guys for J.D. Davis. He's going to be our new third baseman. And he's actually just going to slot right in at third base. Where is he? He's our... We'll do... Yoshi can play first, but he's not having a great year either. And then we'll have Austin Meadows in right. And this is the DH now, so we can have anybody who's doing well, which there's not a lot of people who are doing well on this roster. A lot of people are struggling this season. I don't get it. I thought we were a lot better of a team, but wow, we are doing terrible. So bad. But yeah, he's going to slot right in there, and then that's going to be the team. I'm going to leave the pitching staff alone, even though the bullpen's doing well. The starting rotation is not, and I'll even show you where we're sitting. We're 55-55, but somehow only one game out of the division. So hopefully that move helps us out, maybe changes a couple things, and we can win the division. So 84-78 won the division, which is wild. Absolutely wild. So when I showed you that we were 55-55 or 50-50 or whatever it was at the All-Star break, we started the season 20-8. Yeah, we were actually, I think, a little bit better actually. I think it was actually like 25-8 or something like that. It was ridiculous. So we went on a terrible month. I'll even show you the terrible month that we had. I remember what it was. It was May. Wow, was it bad. It's just not good. That's just not good at all. So we'll take a look around the league. Yeah, this division was garbage. This looks like the NL Central right here. Somehow ranked 7th in baseball. The Twins and the White Sox did pretty well. And the Braves did. The Dodgers did. The Padres did, as expected. Apparently, we have an award. Gold Glove. Makes sense. And let's see what else we have here. Arias. Okay, Chris Taylor. Will Smith. Taylor Rogers. Okay. Some interesting names that we really haven't seen for a while. So Jalen Beeks was very good in this long roll. I'm just going to keep him there. Diego Castillo was good. He's a player that I'm unsure about. Normally doesn't do well, but we'll have to keep an eye on him. Oliver Drake was good, but he's fallen off in rating, so he's going to be a player that I'm going to let walk in free agency. Chaz Rowe looks like he's starting to fall off in rating as well. So he might be another player I look to let walk in free agency. John Curtis doesn't look like he should be going down. All his overalls are going up, or attributes are going up. But he had a really good year. Poche had a decent season. He's got one more year left on his deal, so I have to think about it. And then Nick Anderson, I signed him to a 2-year deal, so we'll keep him around for that next season. Tyler Glasnow. Oh, man. I don't know. He might be a player I look to bring back and trade. Yarborough's good. He's on arbitration. Yoni Chirinos was okay. He's got arbitration as well. Brendan McKay was okay. And then Michael Wacha, like that, I just don't want okay. I want like good. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do with that pitching rotation, because that's not good enough. And then when we take a look at the rest, man, the bench was atrocious. Rosareno had a good season, 31 home runs in the leadoff spot. Willy Adames had a really good season. Realistically, he could end up being a player that we have to look to trade. Yeah, he's got a super friendly contract now, but we'll have to wait and see what that arbitration year is. Austin Meadows was pretty bad. Yikes. I mean, he hit 29 home runs, which isn't terrible, but that average, oof. But I guess his on-base percentage isn't terrible. OPS is, it's a tough season to judge. It looked like he struck out a lot. Yoshi Tsutsugo, he might be a player I look to trade. Super friendly contract, probably has decent trade value, and I feel like we can get similar production from another player. Brandon Lau had a great season. JD Davis, we picked him up for a reason. Seth Beer was okay. I'm going to see how he does after one more season. And then Kevin Kiermaier had a good year. That's a good season. And then Francisco Mejia was pretty bad. So, man, that's, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. As we take on the Astros, though, we get eliminated. A reverse sweep. Man, the Reds defeated the Astros in the World Series. Oh, okay. Different. For sure different. So I'm going to let everybody walk here. Just not worth the money. I'd rather just save it, spend it somewhere else. And then 40 man. What do we got here? Dewell Lugo and McClanahan. Arbitration. I'm unsure about Glasnow. I might just offer it to him and then trade him next year. And then I'm going to let Oliver Drake walk. But everybody else, pretty sure I'm going to bring back. When I look at the contracts, probably going to bring back everybody as well. Maybe not Michael Brosseau. We'll have to wait and see. He might be a good bench bat for us. Oh, man, this guy's looking pretty good. Potential went down, but I still have faith. And then, so we need either Jalen Beeks to hop into this starting role. We could let Trevor Richards be there. But we do need a bullpen arm. We need 2 bullpen arms because we're not bringing back Drake. And then lineup-wise, if I do make any changes, let's see. Is there anybody available lineup-wise that could help us out? How much does Chris Taylor want? $7 million, a little bit more than like I'd be willing to spend for Chris Taylor. But man, it's looking like maybe Corey Dickerson, maybe not. Kyle Schwarber, depending on how much he wants, but he probably wants too much, and he's pretty similar to what like Tsutsugo put up and Austin Meadows. So is that really worth it? I don't know. I don't really see anybody here. So I think we're just going to have to make a trade or two and then probably focus on bullpen options in free agency. So the Rays and the Padres have some weird trade pact. Let's make another trade. Mackenzie Gore and Joey Lucchesi for Tyler Glasnow, Michael Gigliotti, and Alika Williams. Boom. Tyler Glasnow just hasn't really been pitching well. And I would rather go something like... Ooh, hold on. We'll go something like this. And then Mackenzie Gore can go to AAA for one more season, and he can come up and be a pitcher for us, and that helps us out a lot. That actually helps us out quite a bit. I have so many prospects in it's ridiculous, especially pitchers, but this is kind of the team. I'll show you the roster history so you guys can see what we've done. Obviously, that was a big trade, acquiring Mackenzie Gore. I definitely think he can come up and help us out. Maybe in the bullpen next year. He probably take over for Richards. Yeah, Trevor Richards. Lucchesi comes in. He was actually cheaper than Glasnow as well. And the last couple seasons has, yeah, he's been limited in appearances, but is still doing a lot better. So I feel like that was a good move for us. I brought in Jake McGee on a 1-year deal, $2.5 million. I thought, let's bring him back to Tampa Bay, see how he does. Who else? Tyler Stevenson was a catcher that we brought in, obviously formerly of the Rays. He was brought in just to fill out the farm system a little bit more. Cole Calhoun was brought in on a 1-year deal. $3.6 million. It was a little higher than I wanted to go, but for a guy who's hit 32 home runs last year, yeah, the average isn't great, but at least he's providing a little bit more power into the lineup. Nick Birdie was brought in. For some reason, he just seems like someone that the Rays would pick up and just turn him into an absolutely just lights out closer. He's got velocity. You know, I just feel like he could come in and help us out maybe next season. And then obviously we still have Dewell Lugo, who's sitting in the farm system. Budget's still really healthy. Obviously, Kiermaier's kind of the big contract. He becomes a free agent next year. Realistically, it just depends on how much money he wants for the final season of the rebuild, if I bring him back or not. If I don't bring him back, we have the money to spend somewhere else. Or we can end up trading him at the deadline, even though it doesn't really seem like the Rays are going to trade him in real life. It really just depends. Honestly, that's what it comes down to. You know, we do have a couple players. We could throw Brett Phillips in center field and kind of go from there. It really just all depends on what we do. But this is kind of the lineup. Not much has changed. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do with it. I like the players that we have. I just need them to perform a little bit better. You know, like we have good players. It's just last year was not good enough. 84 wins. Or 85 wins, whatever it was. That's just not good enough. So let's see where we're ranked once we get to the actual regular season. We're ranked 11th, which a little bit better than last year. Our defense is really good, but you know, that might be the highest defense I've ever had. But so yeah, this is the team. I feel like we've done a pretty good job keeping the budget fairly low, and let's just see what we can do with it. I mean, we might have to make a trade at the deadline. Again, that's probably what's going to happen. Kiermaier's probably the player that I look to move. Bring in a center fielder who is good defensively, but also has a little bit of a bat. You know, we have some good prospects down here. Greg Jones doesn't really have the bat. Wander Franco. Edgar Lorenz does have a little bit of a bat. Could potentially come up next year. We also do have Xavier Edwards. You know, Wander Franco. I think I said Xavier Edwards instead of Wander Franco. I don't know. But we have players. Just got to get them into the team some way, shape, or form. So same thing with the pitching. I mean, like, look at this. We've got pitchers for days. So I'm not worried about it. I know we've got good pitchers coming up next year, especially Mackenzie Gore. That was a big trade for us. Maybe even Luis Patino, depending on how he develops. So we'll have to wait and see. See you guys at the end of the year. So at the deadline, Trevor Richards just not doing it. I'm going to pick up Jake Faria of the Angels. The only other reliever that I considered was a player that I used to get a lot from the Rangers and Brett Martin, but he's a lefty. We don't necessarily need another lefty. So I'm going to pick up Jake Faria, and I'm also going to pick up a prospect that we could potentially flip next season in Kevin Maitan. And then with that being said, I'm going to call up Mackenzie Gore to be our long reliever. He kind of fits in that spot perfectly. And then I got to send down Peter Fairbanks because he's getting absolutely rocked. That's why I was looking for a new reliever. That's really what it was. So everybody else is actually having a phenomenal season. Like, we're having a really good year as a team. Yoni Chirinos is struggling a little bit, but outside of that, everybody's doing well. So that was the one trade I wanted to make at deadline. I'll see you guys at the end of the year. All right, so it's looking like the moves that we're making, the minor moves, they're really paying off. 102-60. We won the division, taking on the winner of the wild card. Ooh-wee. Love it. All right, so we won the division by 4 games over the Yankees, who are the 4th ranked team. We're the 7th ranked team. But also the Blue Jays made the postseason as well. You've got the White Sox, who look pretty good. The Mets, the Braves. Okay. The Reds and the Brewers in the Central. And then the Padres won the West. Ooh, okay. So we got one league leader, Willy Adames. Oh, okay. He's going to be very expensive next year. Willy Adames was the MVP, and we got a gold glove for Kevin Kiermaier. Arozarena led the league in home runs. I think he tied it with Renato Nunez. I saw that briefly. Freddie Freeman, okay. Bueller and Garrett Cole. You got DJ LeMahieu on the White Sox. Wow, okay. That'd be a move. They have Madrigal, but that would be a move for sure. Wait. Jared Kelenic on the Red Sox. Oh, okay. So let's take a look at our team, because I have a feeling we did pretty well. Mackenzie Gore, the whip's a little high, but you know what? Only pitched 42 innings. Let's give him a full season. Let's see how it goes next year. Diego Castillo, really good. Love seeing that. You got Jake McGee, who had a good season. It's going to be a one and done, though. We have plenty of guys in the farm system I have faith in. Jake Faria, pretty solid pickup. John Curtis is doing well. And then Colin Poche struggled a little bit. And then Nick Anderson was lights out. But I think I'm going to pick him up for one more year as his contract does expire. Ryan Yarbrough, the ERA kind of jumped up a little bit towards the end of the year. But the whip's in a good spot. Joey Lucchesi, fantastic pickup for us. Really good. Yoni Chirinos is, as a 3, I'm not going to freak out about it. Brendan McKay, man. It looked like they kind of struggled towards the end. Yeah, you can see the snowflakes there. It means they're cold. We might need to look into picking up a starter. We might. The bench was okay. Was all right. Nothing too crazy. Arozarena led the league in home runs, or tied in the AL, 48. I mean, from a leadoff hitter, that's insane. Willy Adames was MVP. Insane. I'm really high on Willy Adames. I think he's got all the tools to be a very good shortstop. He's just got to put it together. Austin Meadows, bounce back season. Love to see it. Tsutsugo had a good year. Super friendly contract too. $2 million. Might keep him. Brandon Lau took a little bit of a step back. He might be a player I look to move, even though he's on a super friendly contract. JD Davis, great season. Cole Calhoun, he had a good year. Average went up on base percentage, slugging, and OPS. That's a good season. I'll take it. And even Kevin Kiermaier, he is going to be so expensive. I don't know if we can afford to bring him back. He had 30 home runs. Kevin Kiermaier doesn't hit 30 home runs. That's insane. And then Francisco Mejia is improving. What is going on with this team? Whoever the coaches are, they're doing a great job. So as we take on the Blue Jays, we sweep them with ease. We're now taking on the Chicago White Sox, who gonna be a tough matchup. Definitely gonna be a tough matchup. So we'll see how it goes though, as we take on the White Sox. And can we win this, please? Boom. We're in the World Series against the Reds. Yo, the Reds? What's up with the Reds? Let's go take a look at them, because clearly they've got a squad. So they got Brandon Belt, Castellanos, Winker, Mustak. They just got power. Like that is their squad. Just straight power. And then when we take a look at their pitching, wrong way. We got Castillo, Bauer, Gray, Mailey, and Lodolo. I mean, their bullpen's nasty too. Wow, they've got a team. Yeah, they definitely have a pretty good team there. So let's see here. We've got, let's go Chirinos, Beeks, McKay, and we'll let Lucchesi start this game because he's been very good this year. We take a 7-0 loss. We get the second win though. Lose the third and the fourth. So we got to go back to the starter. Man, let's go. Who's pitching? I think it was Beeks, right? No. So we got Lucchesi, then Yarbrough. Hopefully we can get a little win here, and we take a loss 2-1. Ooh, that's tough. That is tough. So it looks like we have a playoff MVP, JD Davis, but the Reds, man, the Reds are a team. Jeez, wow, they're 2 straight World Series. Are you kidding me? All right, so let's figure this out. John Curtis, I'm gonna bring you back. I have faith. $1 million as well, super cheap. How much does Kiermaier want? 13 a year. That's pretty similar to what he just got, or what he just finished like in real life on the last year of his contract. I think the last year of his contract in 2023 is 13 million. So you know what? I'll even give him a player option. We'll backload it so that it's a little bit lower at the beginning. I feel like this is a fair deal. He's been kind of our benchmark. 13 million, not bad at all. Cole Calhoun, how much do you want? 1 year, $3 million. I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind just in case we do need another outfielder, but we'll wait and see. So 40 man, can't lose Greg Jones. Can't lose Kevin Maitan either. We just traded for him. And then looking at arbitration, definitely want to bring back Anderson. Poche maybe. I'm still on the fence about Poche, but I think everybody else gets a call back. Maybe not Wendell. Depends on G-Man. Maybe G-Man. I'm not too sure about these guys either. And then contracts. Everybody's getting a contract, 100%. And then looking at the team, I'm still on the fence about Chirinos. I might let him walk. And then Gore would be, I don't know, man. I really don't. I'm stuck between these two pitchers. I might let Chirinos walk. We move Gore over to the starting rotation, and then maybe we bring in a long reliever, or we go to the farm system. And then here we need an outfielder. Brett Phillips is great, but I see him more as like a defensive replacement. So I definitely want to find an outfielder for us. Could go to Lorenz. What's he rated now? 77? Maybe give him a shot. We could definitely give him a shot. So we have options in the farm system. That's why I've been kind of making small trades and signings here and there. I don't really want to go out and spend a lot of money on a free agent. That's been like the whole purpose of being cheap. So we'll see what we can find. But I feel like we have plenty in the farm system and currently with the team. And if we do make a trade, that's probably the best way to get a new player. Final season, and you know what? The team's pretty good. Pretty good. I definitely want Yarbrough at the top. But let me show you, because I didn't do anything this offseason. I really just focused on getting some of those young guys that we had, put them into the lineup, and you can see, yeah, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything at all. I knew some of the arbitration offers were gonna go up in value as well, so I was like, can't really go out and spend a lot of money. Trying to be smart about it. You can see Willy Adames is starting to creep up there, McKay, Arozarena. So it would most likely be a player like Willy Adames that would have to walk in free agency. But when you look at some of the players that you have, Wander Franco, Greg Jones, you have Vidal Brujan, who is on waivers apparently, Xavier Edwards, plenty of middle infield help. It's just the team is set for the future, and also right now, I mean, the bench right now looks good. We're going to give Edgar Lorenz the starting job. Power, decent fielding. I'm really hoping he does well this year. Outside of that, offensive lineup hasn't changed at all. And then when you look at the pitching staff, we've brought in Patino, who I think is going to get rocked a little bit. But we also have Mackenzie Gore. I could go JJ Goss instead of Patino, but it looks the exact same. So I'm going to call up a couple players to fill out the bullpen and everything. We also have a couple players on waivers like Birdie and Fairbanks. And then we've also called up the season 1 draft pick, Franklin Barker, who I think is going to be pretty decent for us. So let's see how it goes. Everything else is really the same. I feel like we've been super cheap with the pickups. The trades have been pretty decent. And on top of that, we've really just let the farm system kind of slowly creep into this team. So final season, we are ranked 10th, kind of where we've been throughout this whole thing. We made a World Series last year. Let's see if we can win it this time. Again, we won the division 98-64. We've been a very competitive team. We just got to get that extra step to get in that World Series. We're still 7th. We have really good defense, pitching, and power. I feel like that's the first time I've ever seen that combination. Our ERA as a team, probably the worst that we've seen. But you know what? I still have faith in the team. The Mets. Oh, okay. The Mets are pretty good. Okay. All right. So we do have a couple league leaders. Nick Anderson with saves. Oh, that's it. I thought we had a couple. Just no, that was it. Okay. And Edgar Lorenz won Rookie of the Year. And then we have Delivery Man of the Year for Nick Anderson. So I'm glad we brought him back. He was a player I was a little hesitant about. Sometimes just kind of tanks and doesn't really do well. So I'm glad we brought him back because he was very good for us. Rookie of the Year went to Luke Rennie of the Mets and Edgar Lorenz. So it looks like he just beat out Brent Rooker of the Athletics. So let's go take a look at our team. Jalen Beeks definitely struggled. Looks like his kind of capped out after season 1. Diego Castillo took a little step back in his pitching ability, which sucks, but he's been pretty good for us. So one bad season, I'm not going to freak out. Jake Faria wasn't as good. Franklin Barker got roughed up a little bit, but you know what? I have faith in him. He's going to get better. He's 22 years old. John Curtis, lights out. Love to see that. Colin Pache was good. And Nick Anderson was reliever of the year for a reason. I mean, all 3 seasons. Unbelievable. You got Ryan Yarbrough, our ace for a reason. Really, really good pitcher. Joey Lucchesi struggled a little bit. He'd be a player that, depending on how much he wants, you could bring him back or not. Brendan McKay's doing well. Patino, I told you, probably was going to get rocked a little bit. Definitely did. And Mackenzie Gore was really solid. That's what I want to see. I'm glad we picked him up. He was actually a really good 5. So here we go. What's this offensive lineup looking like? The bench is okay. The bench was okay. Randy, how we doing? Man. I mean, when your leadoff guy's hitting 30 home runs, you know things are going to go well. Willy Adames is still putting up great numbers. Austin Meadows, 47 home runs. He becomes a free agent. If I was doing more years of this rebuild, I would have either tried to extend his contract, try to keep it around a Kiermaier value, or I probably would have traded him at the deadline. Yoshi Tsutsugo, 1 year of arbitration, I would probably give it to him. He's been pretty good, and he's super cheap. Brandon Lau, coming into his last year of his deal, he'd be a player I'd probably just see how he did in the last year of his deal. Is he continuing on this downward trend, or is he gonna bounce back and give us like 30 home runs? It really depends. JD Davis is still putting up really good numbers. He hits free agency again. He would have been another player that I would have either tried to trade for someone really good or kept him on a cheaper deal. It just really would have depended. And then Edgar Lorenz was rookie of the year. He had a good season, and looking at his stats, it looks like he's going to be a good power bat for the foreseeable future. Kevin Kiermaier, back to kind of Kevin Kiermaier numbers, but still decent. And Francisco Mejia is still putting up good numbers. And again, he hits free agency. So we had a couple players that did hit free agency or the last year of their arbitration. Definitely would have paid a little bit more attention to him if this wasn't the last year of the rebuild. I would have paid more attention, maybe made some trades or try to sign him to a little bit cheaper contract extension. So as we take on the Astros, as much as I want Mackenzie Gore to take that game, I got to give it to Yarbrough. I got to get the best guy on the mound for us, and we lose. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Jake Faria, come on. I realistically probably shouldn't have let Luis Patino start. Probably should have been Yarbrough there, especially against Aaron Nola. But still, man, we're a better team than that. We gotta win that series. That's tough. That's tough. But that's gonna be the Moneyball rebuild. Obviously, I wanted to do a little bit shorter one just because MLB The Show is kind of on the end. MLB The Show 20 is towards the end of its cycle. Once 21 comes out, we'll do a longer Moneyball rebuild where we have to worry about our money a little bit more, kind of worry about what acquisitions we make. So it'll be a bigger challenge. But I want to do a short one, especially since the Rays just traded away Blake Snell, who was one of their higher earning players, and it still was a team friendly contract. So I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoy the content. And of course, get in the comment section. Let me know about the Darvish trade, the Snell trade, just anything. Let me know down below. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.